running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's the scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the San Francisco 49ers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in the midst of a season-crushing losing streak. It's up to 9 games now.
And I don't have a PhD in psychology, but you can see it in their body language. This is not a team that is organized and been ready to play.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So Lamar Jackson, in his second season, the Heisman Trophy winner of 2016, leading the Ravens onto the field. They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And a very good offensive unit here. One of the reasons they're so good is running back Mark Ingram.
Took a little while for him to find his footing when he got into the league, but the former Heisman Trophy winner has it now and has really upped his pass receiving potential. A nice player.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Niners will go on offense 1st and 10. So here are the Niners now to get their first drive. They'll have Jimmy G calling the shots. Grew up in the northern suburbs of Chicago, went to Eastern Illinois. Jimmy Garoppolo.
And what a performance in his last game. Couple of touchdown passes. That was positive.
But more than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not what he's looking for. What did Vince Lombardi say, though? Winning isn't everything.
It's the only thing.
And that's what he hangs his hat on after last week's game.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. And it looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. He'll step aside. This is Jerick McKinnon, who missed the entire 2018 campaign. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Goodwin able to haul it in. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a 1st down. Big completion there on 3rd and short. Keeps their opening drive alive.
Not only alive, but plenty of possibilities now. 1st and goal, and you know me.
And across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Niners have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
25 yards that time. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Check, watch 54. What up? Nice going. Come on.
Call it no gain on the dump off, and it's 3rd down. A look now at the starters on this 49er defense. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
False start, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Now Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. That'd be ideal. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Kendrick Bourne, the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd down. A look now at the lineup defensively for the Ravens. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Buying time to his left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. So possession 1 ended in 6. Possession 2 likely going to end in a punt.
Yeah, that's okay. They just got to get back to what they worked on in the opening drive and continue to make a few adjustments along the way. It won't be exact because the defense will make a few adjustments themselves. Just get back to your game plan.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. I know we can't do a mind meld and really know exactly what he was thinking, but I didn't see an open receiver there. Maybe, possibly, he did that on purpose and just overthrew him.
Yeah, coverage was good, so maybe indeed that was another way to throw it away, if you will.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
On second down now, it's Ingram. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Going for it with McKinnon.
Not the result they were looking for there on 3rd down. They end up taking a loss on the play. The only person happy now, the punter, gets to go out there and show Mom that he gets to play in the game.
So they give it up just on their side of midfield. And, yeah, I mean, a surprising decision there to go for that.
Must have a lot of confidence in his defense. Must feel like, hey, we're in great shape here because our defense can hold them. Because they're really outside of field goal range now. All right, the opposite team. So if you hold them here, you haven't given up any points. You may give up a punt and you're pinned down a little bit. But must have thought it was an okay spot to go for it and decided to be aggressive.
16 yards, a first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
A first carry now for Kenneth Dixon. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fit. creases like they were able to exploit right there.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
It's going to be a long day on this.
Running out of the gun with Dixon. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the...
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Nick Boyle, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down. At about the 23-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st down, McKinnon again. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Sliding out of the pocket. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Carr. And his crew will take over with the football at the 35-yard line. Matthews, the intended target. Don't forget, later tonight, Sunday Night Football, we've got the Pats and the Texans from NRG Stadium in Houston. And then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, it's supposed to be really cold up in Seattle as we've got the Vikings and the Seahawks from CenturyLink Field at 8:15 Eastern. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find him.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
Should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you've got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From midfield, here's Garoppolo. This one to Bourne out on the left side. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Niners on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Play fake there to Coleman. Now Garoppolo. He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Marquise Goodwin, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the 49ers have now taken the lead. Gold able to tack on the extra point.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? He's going to loft one, deep left side, and that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Not to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. This will be caught at about the 6. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Kenneth Dixon, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is taken at his 4.
Well, that return gives him a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. Deep ball for Goodwin. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin. And now it's 2nd down. Off the play fake to McKinnon. It's Garoppolo. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one covers 29 yards, 1st down.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
On 1st down now, run with McKinnon. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Pernell McPhee, always a threat to find the QB, and he gets to him there.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss. Not a big one, but any loss of yardage in this position is tough for an offense.
12 yards there and a 1st down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone?
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the 49ers have moved down in front. Gold with the extra point. And always a good 1st half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this day, has got to be priority 1.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. This quarterback now hitting on 2/3 of his passes. 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now a handoff for Dixon. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. The pass rush specialist, D. Ford, in on the stop. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Pretty solid coverage there by the All-Pro Richard Sherman. Able to get a hand in.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense heading back on the field. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive...
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down. They go play action here on first down. That is caught at the 7. They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Hayden Hurst, his first touchdown on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the scores. The kick's away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They'll need to regroup after the costly interception last time. It led to a tying touchdown. 21 all is where we stand, and they've got it 1st and 10. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. Deep ball for Goodwin. It got his man complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on 3rd down. Now throwing on 1st down and completing it. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. The Niners on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Then he hits his man, Matthews. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Here's Garoppolo to throw. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Garoppolo now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Garoppolo flushed out right to the goal line, but it's incomplete. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Now Garoppolo to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Two incompletions haven't moved him any closer, and likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here. Throwing now is Garoppolo. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo with his 2nd touchdown pass of this first half. And the 49ers have moved out in front. No surprise there, 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. Broken tackle. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. We're starting to get near the home stretch of this NFL season. It's Week 13, so let's get an update on what's going on. We'll begin in the AFC South. Tennessee heading north to visit Indianapolis, and it's the Colts on top as that one approaches halftime. Devin Funchess, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. From there, let's get to the Meadowlands to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Packers. A touchdown there for Saquon Barkley. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And they have the lead over the visiting New York Jets. A.J. Green, a touchdown reception. In the game you're watching, it was Jimmy Garoppolo who was brilliant in that first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead.
Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
That's it, baby. We're going to play.
Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you turn that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. They give him 12 yards and a first down. This offense #1 in the NFL in picking up first downs, and their run game got him another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because if you keep picking up first downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short game. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics. This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Trying to go back to Matthews there, and it's third down.
Man, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense.
That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. 3 touchdown passes now for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll start the drive with Dixon. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
From the 25 on second down, Jackson, and he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now it's Jackson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at the 20. And the first play of the drive goes to McKinnon. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They run once more with McKinnon. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
To throw, it's Garoppolo. Left side, caught by Matthews. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They'll run on 1st down. McKinnon. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Well, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Mostert. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Oh, he bowls over him. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time. Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him. They tried to trick him. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be 4th and goal.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them.
And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Taking it in from a yard out. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise. Methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. So it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From just shy of midfield, Jackson rolling to his left. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Jackson always a threat to run. He's got the first down. He was the NFL's leading rusher among QBs a year ago.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Another incomplete pass there. What do you take from this game offensively?
Well, you know it's tough to really analyze for them because it is a team game, right? And let's be honest, though. The defense did them no favors in this one at all. Offense actually moved the ball. So, bottom line, film session, defense, it's going to be a real tough one for them. Offense, they'll get a little bit of praise.
Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the 49ers are going to get the football back.
Here we go.
That's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth, and we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
Here again is McCannon pushing him away.
Popped it right out there.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Now they'll throw with Garoppolo. Finding Bourne here over the middle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10. From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. Garoppolo going to give this one to McKinnon. Pernell McPhee in there on the stop.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up.
And he loses the football a second time. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. D. Ford in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Only 2 there on the dump off. It's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. He has a 1st down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson on the move to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
One-handed. Love the effort. Not much production on that play, though, huh?
Not a whole lot of yardage. You get that grab, you probably want a 1st down.
And he'll be the one in the film session. He'll be saying, hey, run that.
And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, 36 yards. And the Ravens cut into that lead. He doesn't need a lot of space for an electric run. He showed that there. Heck, they told us this week they were hoping he would break a big one. He just did.
And what did his offensive, remember we talked with the offensive line, and one of the guys, one of the stalwarts said, I don't even have to make a great block for him. I just breathe bad breath on the guy in front of me. Often that opens up enough space for him to go.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here.
Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
On play action, it's Garoppolo.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Now Mostert And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take. Slow him down.
8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling, and this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. 2nd, 3rd guy in, rake it the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Well, they weren't messing around. 1st and goal, they don't do anything fancy. They just go to the fullback right away.
I like how you phrase that because oftentimes they come back to the fullback when it's late in the down and distance count, right? In this case, 1st down, let's go get it right now.
And he got it. 6 points on the board. This will be taken short. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback
into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
On first down, McKinnon. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top. One of the fun parts about working with you is that we've learned that there are different ways to do things than the way we were brought up to do them. This is Madden. Of course they were going to go ahead and get another score. What do you mean take a knee?
And that just makes the final margin even more lopsided. I think they earned themselves a cold drink from the fridge, right?
There's no
Maybe
doubt
some
about
pretzels, too, some hummus. Go crazy.
See, we've learned.
Go crazy.
We have learned the Madden way of doing things.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for San Francisco, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-4. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, this season is beyond salvage now as they fall to 2-10. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo.